Hey there, we're back at it. Back at the Herald Estate. Beautiful day for grinding some locks off. Today we are going to tackle this thing. This is his shipping container that he proudly got a few years ago. Nice solid steel that you can stuff with all kinds of junk that you don't need, you know, old boots and vacuum cleaners and sewing machines. This one is going to be really difficult. First of all, you can see how much room he left between this old Ford pickup and the shipping container. Obviously he did that on purpose, make it a little bit harder for somebody to break in. Now I don't have the keys to this truck, but luckily found out that it does open for the most part. So I think it's going to be putting it in neutral and using a come along to get it out. There's a come along right there. I'll probably attach it to that stake right there because that one's in concrete. Attach it to the bumper right there, put it in neutral, and drag it out of the way. Now before I can do that, he's got it chained up to a train, set of train wheels here. You can see the chain goes through here. I really hope I don't have to grind that chain off because that is a really big chain. And then the chickens. He's also got it chained up on this side. A couple different ways. He's got a chain through the wheels, you can see there. He also has that cable which leads to the winch here. As far as the shipping container goes itself, you'll see two boxes, one right there and one right there. Those will have the locks in it. I don't know if they're combination locks or key locks. I really hope they're key locks because I think the only way to grind those is to actually grind the box off to get to them. So we'll see. It'll be a fun day. Now I think in this shipping container, I think it's a motorcycle. That's what I'm going to say. We're missing a gold wing. I don't know where it's at. We found the title, we found the keys, but the gold wing might be in here. I mean, it's the right size for a motorcycle. At the very least, it's going to be filled with all kinds of junk. So we'll have to count the number of vacuum cleaners as usual and the number of sewing machines as usual. And see, I'm betting 3 vacuum cleaners, 1 sewing machine in here. All right, getting into it. Right off the bat, we got a problem. So he's got this chain that wraps through this tire, through the shipping container, and then over this nice set of railroad car wheels, which weigh 1 billion tons. And what he's done is he's welded the chain up right there. So he didn't bother with the lock, he just actually welded that chain. The entire chain is welded to itself in a loop through the shipping container. So the first thing I'm gonna have to do is grind this stupid chain. And then let's go see what the other side has. I hope it's not the same. Okay, good news and bad news. Bad news is, of course, it's got another chain and it looks like this one is locked, but we'll try to find a key to it. Oh no, it doesn't matter if it's locked, does it? So it's welded, but it is locked. Oh, and it does have a key. What kind of key is it? An American Lock Company key. Good luck finding that in that box of locks, but we'll try that. We'll try that first. And then a couple of things we found. So there's another combination lock right there, as you can see. And then we have this box right here. If you look up inside it, there's no lock there. So that's a good thing. There's a lock there that we'll probably have to, I know we'll have to cut off. And then this one is one of those round key American Lock Company, so should be able to find a key for that one. So we've got 1, 2 locks, okay, then we've got this big truck that you have to use a come along to move. And the big truck is chained to the shipping container. One chain is welded shut, so you can only get to it by cutting through the chain. The other one has a lock on it, and we have to find the stupid key for that lock, okay? So this will be fun. This is kind of an all-day affair. This does. Couldn't find a key. So we'll just grind this if we can. Woo. Yeah. That's one small step for us. So what's that? Must be. Here is the results of that. Not gonna get through that, are you? I tell you. Whew. All right. So those two are done. Now to get the front one. Right. All right, that's number 2 done. And this one is just as bad as the other one. Ah. All right. Oh boy. Okay. This is an emergency brake. Oh, I just felt it move, so. Please. Come on. Let's see. That's all we got.
Turn the wheels inside.
What's that?
It would help if you turn the wheels inside.
Can't turn the wheel.
You can't?
Yeah. Let's see.
Why can't you?
What?
If you have the key, why can't you turn the wheels?
Well, the ignition is dangling down. I don't think the ignition even works.
What do you got?
Unfortunately, my plan for the come along didn't work, like, at all. That truck was stuck fast and would not move. So I figured some old horsepower might help.
All right. Let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. I'm going to do it really slow. And hopefully I don't break anything. We'll find out.
I chained the green Ford to my 3/4 ton 1976 Chevy pickup. Surely that would move it. Nope. This thing was beyond stuck, and I still have no idea why. Eventually, though, it did get moved, just not by me. It took a tractor to finally drag it out of the way. But with it finally moved, I could get to work, starting with grinding off the lock covers and locks to get the doors open. That was the plan, anyway. So, with the truck out of the way, with the locks cut off, it was time to get those doors open. Only...
Okay.
Somebody made an egg. These leaders are getting all mad. Go on back in there. Get that. see.
Something.
Still doesn't want to open.
I don't know, for something.
Is there one in here?
I'm wondering.
It's a mirror. Huh?
No, there's not one there.
Nothing there?
I thought maybe I needed to pry the doors open. Nope. Then I thought, well, maybe he welded the hinges shut. But that wasn't it. Then I thought maybe there was something catching on that bottom lock box, even though it didn't have a lock. So I cut that off to find out. But there was nothing there. Then I tried prying it open from the top. That didn't work either. But then I had an epiphany.
All right, after days of trying to get this thing open, getting the lock off of there, getting this whole thing off of here, opening it up, getting that green truck out of here, and I said that was too easy, and it was. It still won't move. I've got these, trying to wedge it open. You know, I thought maybe it was frozen. I am mangling the door, as you can see right here. So it occurred to me there's something right there on the inside. When I stick a knife in, when I stick something in right there, it hits some metal. And I think what has happened is, notice there's a hole right there. And I think Harold's got a rod stuck straight through here that's kind of closing that door, barring it shut. So now what I have to do is take out all those things that I put in and then seal it back shut again so that whatever's in it is loose. And then I think what he would do is I think he would shove a rod through there to push loose whatever rod is holding it right there, because it's holding it right through here. So that's my next task, to get all those things out of it, find a rod that I can stick through there, see if I can open it that way.
You want to guess how well that worked out?
There you go.
If it hasn't been.
Huh?
If it hasn't been bent.
Right.
Huh?
Moved it though. Right there.
Curses, foiled again.
All right, so that's what we're dealing with. You can see that bolt right there. And see it's round? I swear that I think initially he'd stick this through there and he would be able to somehow dislodge that bolt. But I pounded that with a sledgehammer and I couldn't get it to work. So I don't know, maybe Mom's right. Maybe he wasn't able to use it anymore, and so he just stopped using it. In any case, I'm gonna try to use a pair of pliers, see if I can maybe work it to the right, I guess. If that doesn't work, then I'm just gonna put the cutoff wheel right through that door, and maybe right through that bolt. So here we go.
Needless to say, the pliers didn't work.
So there's a solid plate behind this plate, and that's what the thing is, whatever Harold put there. So I'm gonna have to make a bigger cut all probably around here, so I can get into there, cut that plate away, and find out what's behind it. So, okay. All right, so we were right. The bolt is there, but it just doesn't seem to work. I can start seeing stuff behind it too. So I guess I'm just gonna have to cut through that bolt. Cut it right there in the middle. It's probably the best part to do it.
After months of trying to get into it, the shipping container was finally open.
Oh, still there, just like the rest of it.
Yeah, more of the same. This is all treasured, Harold.
There should be
There's old transmission.
a saddle in there somewhere.
There's a old motor for something or other. Just parts.
It's a clock.
Clock. Ah, there's a clock. Bunch of tools. Here's
It's a regular tool shop.
Lawnmower.
And they got jumped it. Yeah, you had a tool shop and they jumped it.
yeah, look at that. Just more shit. God, this guy.
So once again, I started cleaning out his junk, starting with a transmission, which was heavy, and it was hot.
Thank you. Nope. Yeah, pick this up for me, would you?
For the most part, the shipping container was full of engine parts,
Oh, jeez.
heavy engine parts. He also had small parts, fittings, bolts, other hardware stored in this cabinet. As usual, most of these things still had their price tags on them.
12-volt power supply for $7. Houseware, small electric.
But little by little, I started getting the first half of the container emptied. But treasure wasn't coming easy in this one.
Quick check-in here in the shipping container. Just wanted to show you kind of the progress I've been making. Just, you know, kind of about a few feet in. Stuff that I'm sort of keeping here is a trolling motor and a bunch of tools. Generator I found, another generator I found for welding. Outboard motor I don't know if I'm going to get rid of yet. I haven't figured that one out yet. And just a bunch of trash, as you can see, kind of parts and engine parts and stuff like that leading up to the back here. So needless to say, in the words of one of my favorite Mel Brooks movies, man, we ain't found shit. All right.
And just as I was starting to lose hope, the floodgates opened. Starting with these sections of copper line, he must have picked them up from an old job he had when he was working as an electrician. Each of these is worth between $10 to $20. Then I finally got to the tools.
Holy cow, look at that pipe wrench. And that is a ratchet. This is not a ratchet. Let's see.
There were lots of power tools here, plus electric motors, grinders, drills.
Motor, grinder. This is paid $90 for it.
There were at least 3 pneumatic nail guns. One looked practically brand new, all with their price tags on them. Lots of containers as well, each with their own tool, like a router.
It's a router.
Or a power drill.
Oh, one little wireless drill. Looks like there's a few things in here. He bought it for $50.
And lots of hand tools. I also found this box that said Bausch & Lomb rifle sight. The box looked pristine. It turned out to be an old specialty rifle scope made back in the 1950s. These sell for about $1,000 if you can get them. I also found yet another wire feed welder. This one, like the others, had the price tag still on it. He paid $800 for it. Then I came across this suspicious bag.
What's that? Yeah. Yeah, right? I think we might have something that you might be interested in, Mom. You ready?
Oh boy!
That'll keep
Yes.
That'll keep you busy for a while.
Yes. Let's see what manner it is.
It's a Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
But I see a silver dollar right here. No, these are both Kennedys.
The total was almost $400 in change, but sadly, no silver.
Wow. Holy cow. Look at all this. This is,
Buried under a lot of other debris at the very back of the shipping container was this metal box. As usual, it was locked with a padlock, and I couldn't find the key. So once again, I had to cut off the lock cover to get to the padlock to cut that off.
there you go. Yeah. More tools. Who won?
Once inside, I found yet more tools.
Jeez. More tools. In there. Jeez.
It seemed these tools in particular were special to Harold. After all, they were stashed away in this locked metal box, not out in the toolboxes with the others. But why?
So just so we know, the reason all of those particular wrenches and everything were in those toolboxes is because they were things like Craftsman, and these were Snap-on. Craftsman. So apparently he had all of the all his good tools were in these toolboxes right here.
For those unfamiliar, Snap-on or Mac tools sell for a lot of money. A single wrench could sell for $20. For a mechanic, they're like having Rolexes and Omegas instead of Casios or Timex. That's why he had these packed away. They were his treasure. Something else interesting was that Harold seemed to know exactly what was in this shipping container.
Okay, forgive me for interrupting, but I just had to show you something. Now, when I was cleaning out the bus, if you remember the bus RV, I found this box here. I didn't exactly know what it was. It says license certificate on the front. On the back it says James King and Company, Tualatin, Oregon. I just thought it was another piece of trash, and I threw it out sort of on the trash pile. Eventually, excuse me, well after the bus was finished, and certainly well after the shipping container was finished, I went back and I found this thing just as I was going through some of the junk that was on the outside. And I took a minute to actually kind of open it up and see what was in here. I pulled off this top, which isn't easy to get off, and out came all of these papers, and I they're all clipped in there, these Polaroid pictures, as you can see. And I started looking through them, and I found things like this picture, or I found a picture like this picture right here, and this picture right here. Here's another one. Here's yet another one with a bunch of tools kind of spread across a blanket. There's another one of those. Again, tools spread across a blanket. So there's all these Polaroids, and all of them are sort of the same thing. It's basically like an inventory. And I was like, well, that's really weird. Now the thing about it is, this was after I had been through the shipping container, and I started to look at some of these things. Like, for example, that box right there. Do you recognize it? Well, that box contains that router that I found in the back of the shipping container. How about all those power tools? Can you see all those power tools right there? Yep, those were all found in the back of the shipping container. What else? Ooh, what about this one? You see that toolbox right there? That was in the shipping container, and all those tools were inside that toolbox. All of those, and let's see, what's another one? And all of these. These are the tools out of the big metal box that I'm going through right now. Harold had gone through and taken pictures of everything in that shipping container. Now, even beyond that, I found all these papers here, and they're like random envelopes. But on the back of the random envelopes, he's written, in very nice handwriting, I might add, 4 drill bits, 1 easy out, 2 round chisels, 1 50-inch tape, or 50-foot tape, excuse me, 1 acrylic handle, 1 putty knife, 1 grounding wedge, 1 spackle cleaner, 1 file, so on and so forth. And this was labeled box 3, right here. See there? Harold had gone through and itemized everything in that shipping container. Here's another one of those lists, and another one of those lists. Now, think about this. Think about what it took me to get into that shipping container. First of all, sawing those huge chains off that green truck, then finally moving that green truck, which was impossible. It took a tractor to do that. And then trying to actually get the doors of the shipping container open, which involved cutting off the locks and finally cutting through it to cut off that bolt to get inside it. And he wanted to make sure that he knew everything that was in there so that he could check it over and make sure somebody wasn't stealing it. Anyway, I digress. Everything that is in that metal box that I'm going through right now, everything that was in the shipping container that I was going through, that is all itemized for us. Every single one. Here's every single socket that is in that ammo can. Every single wrench and pair of pliers that's in that ammo can. It's incredible what this guy went through to protect his stuff.
Beyond the name brand tools in the large metal lockbox, there were hundreds of other tools in 2 large Mac toolboxes. How many tools? Well, here are the sockets we pulled out. And here are the wrenches, the ratchets, the pliers, the screwdrivers, crescent and pipe wrenches, and hammers. Oh, and we also found...
We got a vacuum cleaner, of course.
Aside from the tools, there were some other really interesting items.
Wow, that's cool.
This turned out to be a World War II issued fighting knife. These were issued to the U.S. Marines and the U.S. Navy, who used them as part of the campaign in the South Pacific against the Japanese. Not only did they use them as weapons, but as hammers, as spoons, as shovels, and for just about every use you can think of. Collectors give about $150 or more for these knives, and the most desirable were made by the company called K-Bar, which is what this one is. I also found this old set of binoculars. They were obviously military and really big, almost 27 inches long and weighing maybe 20 to 30 pounds. The body of these things was perfect, as were the optics. Both the front and rear lenses were in great shape, with the glass perfectly clear. Inside was a range indicator, and the viewing distance must have been over 5 miles. What was really interesting was that stamped in the sides were kanji, Japanese characters, and the name Toko, as well as the figures 20 by 120 millimeter. It turned out that these were binoculars made by the Japanese for the Imperial Navy and used on their battleships during World War II. Binoculars like this would sit on the deck, and sailors would keep an eye on the horizon for Allied ships. These sell for quite a bit. In fact, there are some for sale right now for $40,000. The company that sells them has stripped off the paint and polished the body, which is brass and aluminum. I did some research and it costs about $2,000 to polish them up like this. In all, the shipping container was the best haul for my mom. The hand tools alone were probably worth about $5,000, if not more. The power tools, including the welder, were definitely worth another $3,000, if not more. Odds and ends like the toolboxes and rifle scope altogether would probably sell for another $7,000 or $8,000. While a conservative estimate of the binoculars was around $10,000. Not bad at all, and it gets us really close to paying off my mom's credit cards, the ones that Harold used to buy all this stuff in the first place. Up next, I do a walkthrough of the property and give you an update on all that we've got left to explore and empty out. Join us for that next time on Harold's Estate.
And be sure to like, subscribe, and share so you never miss one of the treasure hunts.